Tejay van Garderen wins the 8th running of this crate. We've only ever had 2 non-Americans win this, and Tejay is keeping it very much in the American family here again in Santa Rosa.
He has been one of the faces of American cycling for several years now. Tejay van Garderen joining us here in the saddle. Steve Schlanger alongside Christian Vande Velde. And after several years on the BMC team, Tejay in the midst of his first season with EF Education. So Tejay, I'm not going to ask you first of all how you like the team. I'm going to ask you, how do you like the pink?
It took a while for it to grow on me. I can't say pink was my normal color, but now that I'm rocking it, I'm proud to be rocking it.
How did you end up with EF Education? Take us through the process that landed you with the new team.
Well, I've known Vauders for a long time, since I was like 14 years old, and I don't know, it was the Mount Evans hill climb or something, and I went and introduced myself, and I rode for his junior team. So we've been in touch for a long time. Just circumstances what they were. I never signed a pro contract with him, but we've always stayed in touch. And then this year, just kind of all stars aligned, and it actually felt like a long time coming. Like this, I feel like it was like I was meant to be on this team.
And Tejay, do you feel like this is? I mean, BMC was a quote-unquote American team. Do you feel like you're truly on an American team? Do you think that things have changed? Or tell us a little bit of what it feels like being on EF Education as opposed to BMC?
No, this is an American team for sure. BMC, it was kind of an American team. It had an American license, and we always had 3 American riders. But now I have all the guys who I grew up racing with as a junior and amateur, guys who I've known for over a decade, teammates with now. So it really feels like America's team.
And
we're the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, you're the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, that's America's team, right? They got the star.
All right. Speaking of decades, I was just going through your resume and your Wikipedia, and we got some questions on the Wikipedia, so don't let me forget. But are you considering yourself a veteran? I mean, I feel like you're almost a peer. Then I couldn't believe how young you still are. Are you still just 30 years old? I'm
30 years old. Yeah, I feel like I've always been kind of older than my age because I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I feel like I've been around forever. This is my 10th year professional. I turned pro really young, but yeah, still just 30.
And what about Kevin Viken? That's your nickname on Wikipedia. What is that all about?
I have never been called that in my life. I have no idea what that is.
Well, okay, I'm glad I asked because I was like, I have never heard of this.
There's worse nicknames to have, so
yeah.
At least there's that. So Tejay, given new team, your age, what is your role right now? How do you see yourself fitting in within the structure of this new squad?
Right now I'm just enjoying the racing and fitting in with the team. I'm not too concerned about a role or being a leader here, being a helper there. Right now I feel like I'm actually more just a role model to a lot of the young guys on the team because I think they see me as a veteran, the aged veteran at the 30 years old.
Wow, you're a role model now. Watch out, world. What about let's think about lifestyle. Change gears a little bit. And what's going on? Are you living when you're on the other side of the pond? Are you in Girona? Is Jessica over there? Are the girls over there? Are they still back in Colorado? What's going on there? And Jessica Phillips, Jessica van Garderen, being your wife. What's going on with the family situation?
They're in Colorado at the moment. They're going to come over in the summer. But yeah, I am in Girona for the season. I made the move there last year. Definitely liking living there, and it's really convenient being there on BMC or Education First.
Oh
man!
You know it was going to happen.
Still hard to get.
You knew that was going to happen.
7 years on that team, man.
Dallas Cowboys, and then you call us BMC.
Okay, You're going to have to forget that I said the Dallas
You're-
Cowboys. I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan. It's just
Remember, you're a
everyone
role
calls them
model.
American.
You're a role model.
I was
First and foremost, you're a role model, TJ. And the peanut gallery to the right is Lawson Craddock, everyone.
Who you are a role model to. Yeah. Lovely sight. Yeah, explain more about, your lifestyle, as Christian was saying, because you and your family were living in Europe and then you moved back to Colorado. How did that all come about, and why did you decide to make that move to go to Europe and then return?
Wow, that was a lot of tough decisions. Well, my oldest daughter is 5 now, so she had to be starting school, obviously, and we were just trying to juggle that lifestyle of, okay, are we gonna try to be in the States, or are we gonna make a full commitment to Europe? We tried just jumping into the deep end, making the full commitment to Europe, but we just decided, everyone was a lot happier when they are home a bit more. And luckily, the team, Education First, has been really supportive about giving me a program that gets me more time back in the States and back with my family. And then obviously during the summer months, it'll be easier to have the girls come over to Europe. And that obviously means a return to the Tour of California this year, which is awesome.
Now let's talk about, since you're talking so much about Colorado, how about this bike park down in Basalt? I can't wait to see this. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, it's really cool. There's this it's this BMX track that we've donated to, and Jessica has this vision of making it like the Valmont Bike Park in Boulder, for any of you guys who know that. Just this Crown Mountain Park, there's this big vast expansion that has this really cool BMX track, but it could be done so much more with. So our vision is to have like a trials course, maybe like a cyclocross event, something like that, just to incorporate bikes into the Roaring Fork Valley a bit more.
I listen to this, and it sounds like you've got a lot of stuff going on and a lot of thoughts away from the sport as well. And I know, Christian, obviously having been a former rider, and the lifestyle that it takes to be a professional, committing to living in a certain place, being away from home for an extended period of time. How do you get away from it at times? I mean, how do you not let it consume you and, maintain a certain balance? I mean, how do you get away from a guy like Lawson Craddock, who's 3 feet away, causing havoc? How do you put it off to the side?
Oh, he's closer than 3 feet, believe me, at Campagnola.
Yeah, we have like a 6-inch gap between our beds right now, so
too close.
Yeah, it's a little too close. It's we have to take turns opening our suitcases in this room.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes you just like to think about things other than cycling. I mean, rooming with Lawson, him and I are both big sports fans. Obviously, he's not a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, and neither am I. But so we like to just chat it up about, the standings in the NBA or NFL free agency, or, Odell Beckham getting traded, Antonio Brown going to the Raiders. Chew the fat.
Hey, speaking of that, how did you befriend Reggie Miller?
So I watched his 30 for 30, and if any of you guys haven't seen Reggie Miller's 30 for 30, it's called Winning Time, Reggie Miller versus the New York Knicks. It's amazing. The best 30 for 30 I've ever seen. And so when I watched that, I'm like, oh man, that was really cool. So I looked on his Instagram and I saw all these pictures of him riding bikes. So I was like, all right, how am I going to get in touch with this guy? I didn't know how to get in touch with him, so I looked and see if he had a Strava page. So I went on his Strava page, and I just left a comment saying, hey, I don't know if you know who I am. I'm Tejay van Garderen.
I'm a stalker.
I see that you're really cyclist, and yeah, I'm kind of a stalker, but I see you live in Malibu. I'm in and out of there sometimes. We should meet up for a ride. Here's my email address. I just left my email address on a public forum on the comments page, and he emailed me straight back, and we ended up hooking up for a ride, and got to know him a little bit. He's a super cool guy. We stay in touch, and yeah, that was one of the best days of my life.
So, what were some of the things that he asked you about? What did he want to know about you?
I mean, he's really into training and takes his racing really seriously. So he was asking me about, just like cadence or nutrition or power, heart rate, all that kind of stuff. And obviously, like, okay, if you're going to ask me these questions, then I get to ask you questions. So I was like, what did you say to Michael Jordan when he wanted to scratch your eyeballs out? Or what were you saying to John Starks when he wanted to headbutt you?
What was his answer?
And I was actually wondering, like, give me some trash talking tips. We don't trash talk a lot in cycling.
Oh, that dude's the king of trash talking.
What should I say to Chris Froome? What do I go up to Chris Froome and say, like, hey, man, I don't even know.
Well, what did he tell you? Well, when you asked for the trash talking tips, what was the best one he gave you?
Oh, I don't know. He was pretty coy about it. I think he was just like, yeah, I didn't talk trash. Those guys.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, right. Man. Right.
I did not like him being from Chicago at all. But back to Reggie for the cycling. He actually races, and I'm pretty sure that is it mostly mountain bike or is it road? Mountain bike, right?
He's a mountain biker.
Yeah.
We went on a road ride together, but no, he's a big time mountain biker. So,
beyond Reggie, did you get any emails from other people who just saw your email on the list in the public forum that said, hey, TJ?
That's a great question, actually.
No, luckily, Reggie Miller's, although his Instagram following is pretty big, his Strava following was small enough that I felt comfortable leaving my email address there.
Well, you mentioned being a general sports fan, the NBA, the NFL, things like that, and you clearly follow the news pretty closely. What is something that drives you nuts? Maybe, OBJ going to Cleveland or Antonio Brown getting traded like that. What's something that, we talk about sports, we argue back and forth. What's something you argue with Lawson or somebody else about?
One thing that drives me nuts is the fact that, I don't know, I feel like defense in sports is getting eliminated. Like everyone wants high scoring, high flying offenses, and I feel like you look at James Harden, he scores 40 a night, but 20 of them are on the free throw line, and I'm like, that's not exciting. And get excited for a touchdown, and then I watched the Rams and Kansas City Chiefs game, where it was like they were both scoring like 50, 60 points. I mean, come on, that's not football.
Okay, I can't disagree with you. I think that the referees and all that, but I don't want to go too deep in the woods, the Sports Center. But anything else you want to say about with TJ? Ask any questions? Lifestyle?
Well,
triggers you?
One of the things I do want to ask, though, about, growing up in Montana.
There you go.
The way you did. What did you sort of, gravitate to in terms of, sports teams and sports? What were your first loves?
When I was in Montana, we didn't have any sports teams, so basically jumped on whatever bandwagon was cool at the time. So when I was in elementary school, there was obviously Space Jam and Michael Jordan. And then when I got a little older, like into middle school, high school, it was like the Shaq and Kobe Lakers. And then it wasn't until I moved to Colorado that I was like, okay, I got my teams now. It's the Broncos and the Nuggets. And the Nuggets are balling this year, so that's good because the Broncos have been kind of a letdown the past few years.
Okay. Hey, I mean, you got a 55-year-old quarterback in Joe Flacco coming to save the day, though.
I don't know what they were thinking with that. That is, I mean, he is expensive. I don't even know what to say. I'm at a loss there.
Well, it's a good thing. It's not like you have anybody else, to compete with in your division. Oh, wait a minute. There's Mahomes and the Chiefs. And, there's Phillip Rivers. Forget I just said that.
All right.
Yeah.
TJ, Lawson, you can get in on this one. So if you guys were to play one-on-one hoops right now, for some reason you guys find a basketball cart at the camping you, which we're not going to find, who would win? Let's say a game to 21.
Ooh, I don't know.
I got the height advantage on Lawson, but
I'm a scrappy little guy.
Yeah, we know you'd be scrappy, Lawson. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I'm a fighter.
I think I think hoops. I could take him.
That's cool.
Um,
I mean, really, you guys just set it up. There's only one way to settle this.
hoops. One-on-one.
It gotta be.
I don't know, dude. We don't want to be twisting ankles. Maybe we should just play like some horse or around the world or.
Yeah, don't please. Let's wait till November with that. I remember Keel
When
and
you
Alex
guys
House.
next week from JV and TJ and I are both out from the year. You know, this is what caused it.
And JV doesn't have my number. He's got Christian though.
Yeah, no, let's not do that. I know that Keel and Alex House, Keel Ryan and Alex House had a boxing match. I think that actually basketball would be a little bit safer than the boxing. And then they also did a marathon as well, which I don't think was a good idea either. But I think the November basketball would not be a bad idea, though. We'll hold you to that one.
November basketball. Lawson, you on?
I'm down.
Okay.
I'm married into a basketball family.
Oh man. All right, it's on.
In the meantime, TJ, you had mentioned, defense going away. Something that has been kind of going away at the Tour de France is time trials. And I know that's something that obviously you like to see. You're a good time trialist. We read about, the fact that you said that, you don't like time trials being eliminated the way they have been and reduced. Where do you stand on that right now and how that affects the sport?
I mean, I think time trials are a beautiful thing. I mean, it's a mix of technology and hard work and an investment in time and money and just training to get the most aerodynamic position, the most aerodynamic equipment, and also to train the suffering and the power and all of that. I think it's I don't know. And when I was a kid, you'd always see these crazy images of like Miguel Indurain coming out with this crazy new bike, and it was just like this. It seemed like this otherworldly thing that it was just super intriguing. I mean, I understand that if you throw in too many time trial kilometers, that it kind of neutralizes the race and it makes it a little bit less exciting. I can understand that point of view, but you shouldn't just eliminate them altogether. And a lot of races are going in that trend, and I hope it doesn't continue that way.
All right, TJ, last question. You're Roger Goodell of cycling. You have a magic wand. You could change whatever you want. What would you change within the sport?
Ooh.
Eliminate roommates?
I like Lawson. What are you talking about?
It's not this close.
I would maybe say the rooms would have to be a certain square footage.
Bring it back to biking. What would you change?
Oh,
Maybe anything. Like
man, I feel like
I said,
all
like
the time.
yeah, like I said,
Sitting around griping.
yeah, like permanent numbers. I said the other day. I mean, anything, man. Really, sky's the limit.
Yeah, I would like to have jersey numbers. That would be really awesome. I always get jealous of like, I wish you could own your number.
Agreed. I
I
100%
started
agree
doing
with you.
that on Instagram where I would try to find the best sports person to have played in the number and my bib number, and I'll say like, okay, I'm this guy for this race. But because I've always just thought the concept of owning a number would be really cool.
And then we could retire your jersey in basalt.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. TJ, we appreciate the time. Thank you. Thank you to your partner to your left. And, we'll see you throughout the season. Thanks very much.
Thanks, boys.